How's it going, everybody? This is Rob Novakast back with another video, and I think this might be the last topic video for a while. I know I keep saying that, but I'm going to continue doing the Let's Reacts, the Let's Watch, and the Let's Play videos more than, the drama shit. Mostly because, people being at each other's throats. Especially the pathetic versus the pathetic. I'm talking about Greg and... I'm going to continue to call him TMZ Smeagol, or RSN. Okay, so, thanks to MJ, we got this article. YouTuber Onision's dad wants to set the record straight about their relationship. So, this is the first I've heard of this, and it's like, just a couple days old, so we're gonna read it. Alright. Forgive my reading. In late 2019, Deborah Daniels' oldest stepdaughter told her stepmom about some of the YouTube videos she's been watching. James Jackson, also known as Greg Jackson, or on YouTube as Onision, has been accused of sexually grooming underage women, and an FBI investigation may have started. Deborah relayed this information to her husband, Randy, who is James's biological father. Onision channel was started by Jackson in 2006 but gained traction with the viral hit Banana song I'm a Banana in 2009, eventually leading to him getting featured in Comedy Central's Tosh.0 over the next decade. Yeah, and he's ridden that hype train for, till now, because he thinks it's such a great video. Eventually leading him, okay. Just read that part. Sorry for getting distracted. James would continue posting sketches as well as videos about self-care, suicidal thoughts, and his personal relationships, pulling in over 5.5 million subscribers across his 3 channels. James is currently married to Kai, who identified as a woman until March of 2017, and was a fan of Jackson. He married the YouTuber in 2012 when he was 18 and Jackson was 26. I almost said 16. The pair have 2 children together, and Kai did not respond to the request for comment. Wielding spurious copyright claims against many videos mentioning him, Onision has become a combative fixture in the YouTube community. In recent years, the drama in his own life has eclipsed his own content, blurring the line between reality and Jackson's fiction. Jackson's personal relationships have often been the subject of controversy and speculation, with multiple women sharing their stories online and in YouTube interviews with Chris Hansen, the former host of MSNBC's To Catch a Predator, a reality show where adults would arrive to a house expecting to have sex with a minor. Okay. Hansen's video on YouTube featuring interviews with the 5 different women who have come forward with claims of abuse and neglect, as well as multitude of commentary channels dedicated to the subject, showed Randy and Deborah what James appeared to have grown into. It's hard to watch and hear about all this stuff involving your son, Randy told Newsweek. It's hard to talk about, second guessing if I could have done anything differently, and just wish that things were very different than they are right now. It pains me that this kid has made such a mess of his life. That's sad when you have to hear that from your own father. Randy and Deborah, and again, I want to point out that there's somebody that is saying that they're James or Greg's father, so, alright. Randy and Deborah haven't spoken to James in over a decade. They watched him transform into a bright child to a moody teenager, but have been fearful about speaking up. You know, what Greg has done to people who have come out and speak against him, Deborah said. He's bullied them and harassed them for, a year or more. I don't know where he got it that it's okay to treat women like this or anybody like this, and his fascination with young girls, it's mind-boggling. Randy and Deborah spoke out publicly for the first time, giving Newsweek their own views about their relationship with Onision. Randy first met James's mother, Tammy, while they were attending the same college in Tennessee. They divorced after 8 years and 3 children. Tammy declined to comment for this story and requested that Newsweek not publish her last name. Alright. Randy claims he filed a motion which moved the case to Indiana and was eventually allowed to see his kids for 6 weeks every summer and call them on Sundays. He says he's kept all the documents from the divorce in case his kids ever wanted to see what happened. I felt differently beat down and ended up leaving my job in Indiana as a pastor, moved to Ohio, Randy said. About a year and a half after the divorce, Randy met Deborah, and they married in 1991. That first summer that I had them in 1990, I had to drive out there to pick them up. Randy said I couldn't afford the plane ticket, and I started a new job, so I drove all the way out to Washington State to get them and drove all the way back with them. We had rented a house, visited Kings Island, and bought toys for them and used bicycles. We spent so much time with them as we could. I really don't know a lot of things about Greg, but as a young child, he was the sweetest boy, Deborah recalls. Oh my goodness, just a normal boy that likes to play. I'm kind of wondering what happened. Well, actually, a lot of us can speculate what happened, but let's continue. There were times when we first got married that Randy wanted to give up, and I said no. Whatever those children decide, you are going to have to look in the mirror and say, I fought for those children, Deborah added. We fought to have a relationship with them. We fought to be a good influence in their lives. Over the next few years, contact was sporadic with the kids, Randy said, though they spent Christmas and birthday presents when possible. Or they sent Christmas, oh sorry, I fucked up. They sent Christmas and birthday presents when possible. When James was 17, he came to live with Randy and Deborah. They say he was a difficult teenager who didn't want to follow any rules. I told our neighbor, if you see anything strange going on in the house, call the police because Greg was getting so out of control, Deborah said. Greg threatened to burn down the house a couple of times when he was going off on some of his tangents, Randy said. Whenever he would get angry and start yelling and cursing and calling us all sorts of names, it was just kind of escalating, and so I was afraid that there would be physical altercations, and that's when I called the police. I told the officer, look, I need help. Can you explain to Greg that he has to listen to his parents and can't do whatever he wants? Still, Randy and Deborah tried to support and encourage James. That kid was so promising when he had custody of him, Randy said. We were trying to encourage him because at that point he had started coming up with a whole Onision thing. We offered to send him to LA film school to get some additional training, but he was just too smart for everyone. That sounds familiar. During a road trip to Nashville, he was listening to his music, and I had it up very loud. Oh, I'm assuming this is the story where he cusses out his wife, even though he said he's listening to his headphones. Randy said, I said, Greg, please turn your music down, and he wouldn't do it. So I pulled off on the next exit. I stopped, turned around, and said, Greg, turn your music down. It's way too loud. And that's when he went off. He started screaming and was just gonna bolt. He was gonna leave. And so I turned around, unbuckled my seat, and tried to reach and grab his shoulder to keep him from leaving. Debbie was trying to untie his shoes, and he was kicking at me. Broke my glasses and bloodied my nose. Passerby called the police, Randy said, and James was then taken into custody at a juvenile detention center. Randy and Deborah hired an attorney and tried to work out a settlement to only get him probation. We never saw him take responsibility except that one time when he's behind bars. And we're sitting with him at a table with guards watching, and that really, it was like it snapped him out of it. He was acting like a normal, scared kid at that moment. James has shared his version of the story in multiple videos, ranging back as far as 2009, as well as in his book, This Is Why I Hate You. He claims that his father choked him while he was sitting in the back seat of the car, and that he was just defending himself. So, yeah, though, if this is Greg's dad, he lied, just like every other time that he's lied. Okay. James confirms that he spent time in juvenile detention center, but says it's very obvious what happened. I called his wife something, he attacked me, and defended myself. James also claimed in the video that Randy went through his journal and computer files. Randy admits to looking through the journal, saying, we were trying to find out what was wrong with him. We thought he was on drugs, but denies looking through computer files because James didn't have a computer. Interesting how that works. You know, for Greg to lie. We didn't hear from him for a while. Then all of a sudden he calls and says he is getting ready to go into the Air Force. Deborah said when James married his first wife, Sky, in 2005, his father and stepmother were not invited to the wedding, but they did spend some time in Washington State afterwards. Sky declined to comment. The last time we spoke, Greg was assigned to Korea, Randy said. He was military police and wanted to change to non-combatant with only 3 months left in his tour. We told him that was a horrible idea. Just hang in there and let the military pay you your way back. He didn't take my advice. And then a switch flipped and all of our calls, and we can't get a hold of him anymore. Deborah added, but it's not that way. It's just you're ghosted all of a sudden and you have no clue why. We just talked to him last week. What happened? For the next few years, Randy followed the rise of Anit-Onision and saw the I'm a Banana video go viral, pulling in millions of views on YouTube. Then James started making the videos about Randy and Deborah. They stopped watching. I consulted with attorneys and asked if I needed to take any action, Randy said. The counsel I got was that he's not mentioning you by name, so you would have a hard time proving anything in court. Randy can't remember the last time he spoke with James and has never seen his grandchildren, but he still wants to have a relationship with his son. This kid did not have horrible, abusive parents who were not involved in caring about his life, Randy said. The record needs to be set straight as far as the role and involvement in his life and what we try to do for him and his sisters. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and say it that it doesn't come to a shock that, Greg lied once again. Now, when it comes to the stories about his father, to some extent, I had a feeling that it was off due to the fact that, once again, we only hear Greg's side of the story. But now that we're hearing the other side, it paints a different picture. And it makes you wonder, especially for the fans, if they ever see this, is Greg really the best person to listen to? Considering that you anger him, he's going to be vindictive, he's going to attack you, he's going to do all these things. Well, I think for everybody, that's for you guys to decide. With that, though, I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Truly appreciate it. If you guys can, please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. This is Rob of Novakast signing off. Have a good one, and take care. Peace.